Aloha, it's the Reverend Timothy McWowson here. It's been quite a while, but I'm back with a bang. Now, there's a few things I want to talk about, all to do with making money for the organisations, amongst which is the Donegal Matter Incorporated. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why is this guy, why is this, Reverend Timothy McWowson, what's he doing? He's sitting on a rock, staring out right across the ocean. He's in a very beautiful place, a very scenic place. That does not sound like McWowson. McWowson's usually in a church. And if he's not in a church, he's in a bank. So you're probably asking, yeah, it's a fair question. Oh, I'll tell you why. About 10 minutes ago I was walking along the street and suddenly I saw a policeman. And the policeman recognised me. There must be a warrant out for my arrest. Don't know why. No idea. The policeman started running after me, so I ran all the way to the seaside. And I could still not outrun this fella. He was still behind me. The glasses were all fogged up. And I ran along the coast. I ran over there. No sooner had I run over there than I saw another policeman. That policeman recognised me. He started running towards me. So I was sort of between a rock and a hard place, So what I did was I climbed down here. And you see that hole there in the rock? Well, I didn't get into that hole. I needed a larger hole, so I got into this big one here. I crawled in there like a crab, and I waited half an hour. And I could hear the policemen talking to each other saying, that's McWowson, we have to arrest him for fraud. I'm a guy, I swear to God, and this is no exaggeration, butter would not, sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied here with excitement. Butter would not melt in me mouth. It would not melt in me mouth. Don't know what they're talking about, fraud. The Reverend Timothy McWowson and fraud. 2 words that do now go together. Well, 4 words if you include my name as 3, so. But who's counting, who's counting? Between you and me, who's counting, So anyway, I want to say that, you've got a great guy there in Ireland called the Donegal Matter. He's got a wonderful organisation called the Donegal Matter Incorporated. Now, he had a vaccine out for the COVID last year. It has been a phenomenal success, and he's now in his wee shop, his wee online shop. He's now giving boosters. Now, I have to say this, speaking for myself, can't speak for the matter. Can't speak for the matter. But speaking for myself, we are, as an organisation, we're totally against mandatory vaccines, and we're totally against boosters, and we're totally against face masks. We're absolutely against the lockdown, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity to cash in, and you can, you sell a few vaccines here and there. What's a few million vaccines going to do? It's not going to cause any problems. Now the boosters, because some people have been sending us emails asking about the booster. Will the booster be as effective as the Donegal Matter Incorporated Holy Joe vaccine? Well, let me think about that. I'll tell you something. There will be double the amount of Donegal Matter Incorporated bathwater scum going into the booster. Double the amount that was in the vaccine. So it's actually a much safer, much healthier injection into the body than the original Donegal Matter Incorporated Holy Joe COVID vaccine. Now, you have to get a booster. We're not sure yet if there'll be a second one. I get the feeling there will be a second one. I get the feeling you'll have to keep getting boosters long into the future. And where better to turn to than the Donegal Matter Incorporated to get your Donegal Matter Incorporated COVID-19 booster shot. So that's the first thing out of the way. Make sure you get that. If you have already, and a few thousand people have already got their Donegal Matter Incorporated COVID-19 vaccine, if you've already got that, to stay alive, you have to get the booster. If you don't get the booster, you're going to drop dead. But don't blame the Donegal Matter Incorporated. Don't blame that. It's your own fault for not getting your Donegal Matter Incorporated COVID-19 booster shot with extra Donegal Matter Incorporated scum from the bed of the Donegal Matter Incorporated bathwater scum. Now, there's another thing I want to talk about. we have set up an undertaker's business. We get the feeling there might be a lot of deaths in the coming months, and we'd like to get ahead of the posse. So we've set up an undertaker business. Now the Donegal Martyr will be the main undertaker. I think he's absolutely perfect for the job, with his black suit, his dark expressionless eyes and his black curly wig. I think he's perfect as an undertaker. So we're going to have an undertaker business. And we also have a package, so you'll be able to get different coffins. You'll be able to get different coffins. You know, if you want to be a bit of a cheapskate, you know, you can get a coffin for £1,000. You know, it's not bad. It's not bad. But you know, if you want people to actually respect you at your funeral, you know, you make sure you get a £100,000 oak, royal oak coffin with gold handles, which will be replaced with brass handles before the funeral. But nobody will be any the wiser. You know, nobody will be any the wiser. We're also doing something that is really for the Millionaire Club. If you want your ashes to be spread, now for the stupid Irish Fenian bastards, for the stupid Irish monkeys, you can pay €1,000,000 and you'll get your ashes. You'll get your ashes sprinkled on the hill of Tara. That's what you'll get. And if you're English or Scottish, you can get your ashes sprinkled on the cliffs of Dover, or on Hadrian's Wool, or we will flush it down a toilet that will go into a pipe, and the pipe will go all the way to Loch Ness. So for the Scottish, you'll be able to do that for €500,000. We're reducing the price for the Scots because we know you're a bit tighter. Sure, I'm Scottish myself, you know. I know how it is. I know how it is. You know. I know how it is. Now, what else do I want to say? I don't think I've got more to say. I'm going to pipe my camera up here and make sure there's not a bobby. I'm going to throw in a bit of a pun here. It'll make you chuckle. I think the coast is clear. Do you get it? I'm on the coast, and there are no bobbies up there, which means the coast is clear, literally and metaphorically. Yeah. I think that was a great joke. What are you saying in live chat? People say it's a stupid joke. It's not a stupid joke, it's a great joke. Now, there's one final thing I want to say. I have sent a sizable amount of money to Bangladesh, €60, because I want to get my qualifications to be a doctor. I found out in the last 18 months that there's a lot of money to be made if you're a doctor. All you have to do is write down COVID and you get money. All you have to do is phone some old bag and ask her if she's got COVID. If she's got any of the symptoms, you get €50 just for a 1-minute phone call. You know, serious money, hand over fist. So I've sent €60 away to Bangladesh, and there's a guy in Bangladesh, you know, gotta be good to him. His name's Osama, and he's going to send me back qualifications, and I'll be interchangeable. Sometimes I'll be the Reverend Timothy McWowson, and other times I'll be Dr. Timothy McWowson. But when I'm Dr. Timothy McWowson, I'm going to make an absolute fortune. All you've got to do is set up a wee office. Now, I was watching a documentary last night. This guy was an absolute genius, you know, absolute genius. You know, I thought I was fairly smart at, fooling old people out of their savings. You know, I thought I was the top dog. But there was a guy before me, long before me, and he was a doctor. And you see, the great thing about being a doctor is everybody trusts you. You know, it's like you've got the word of God. The word of God. All you've got to do is say, you do a little scribble, a little doodle on a prescription, absolutely illegible. But when they bring it to the pharmacy will just throw any old medicine out the baton. You know, they don't have a clue what you wrote in the pharmacy. They don't have a clue. They can't read your handwriting. Sometimes you don't even have to write letters. You just do a loopity-loop line. And they, you know, a stupid patient brings it to the pharmacy, and the pharmacy just give them a lot of pills. You know, all the pills are the same. It's the biggest scam that was ever done, modern medicine. But these days, you know, it's really, really the place to be. All you have to do is write down COVID. That's all you got to do. You know, guy comes in with his 2 kneecaps blown out. All you have to say is, "You've got COVID. You've got COVID, son. You've got COVID. Here's a prescription." Just having an evil little chuckle to myself. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. So Anyway, the documentary I was looking at, it was a guy called Dr. Harold Shipman. I don't know if his first name was Harold, but his name was Shipman, and the guy was an absolute genius. What he did was right. He had most of his patients were old people. They were very old people in their 70s and 80s and 90s in England. And what Shipman did was he started poisoning his own patients, and he started administering lethal injections. Now, some of you will say that was a terrible thing to do, but, you know, in fairness to Shipman, he wanted money. And you can't get, you know, when it comes to business, you can't get personal, you can't start thinking emotionally, you have to go for the money. So, Shipman, he wanted his money, so I don't know how many people he did away with, but he's a great guy. I was thinking to myself, you know, when I get me credentials next week from Bangladesh, I set up my wee office. I was thinking, I know, there's an old woman in my town, right? And everyone loves this old woman. Her name is Bridie. Everyone says, oh, Bridie's a lovely woman. I was thinking to myself, yeah, I'll get her to change her practice, to leave her old doctor and start coming to my practice. Now, a rumour has it that she's got a sizable property. It's worth about 400,000. That's British sterling, by the way, not euros. So it's more in euros. She's got a massive. She's got children, but I think so. You know what? Sweet talking Scottish doctor will be able to convince her to leave her property to me. Now, what I do is, I do home calls, you know, house calls. That's what I do as well. When there's nobody around. Now, I'd arrange these house. I wouldn't do it around lunchtime when you've lots of people in the housing estates. I would do these house visits at very strange times. Now, the patients might be scratching their heads saying, "Why is Dr. Timothy McWowson calling into my house at 4 o'clock in the morning? Why has my appointment got to be at 4 o'clock in the morning?" Well, that's when there's no witnesses around, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Pop in there at 4 o'clock. Administer the little injection to Bridie. You'll get the keys to the house. And yes, she's got 2 tickets for a cruise next year as well. Now, I think the COVID pandemic will be over by then. I'll be able to go on the cruise. Bring one of me young ones on the cruise. I think it's a great idea. Yeah. Anyway, this Harold Shipman, this Dr. Shipman, call him Dr. Debt. I tell you, I think he's an absolute genius. Anyway, guys, gotta go. No sign of the bubbies. So, I think I left a quarter bottle of scotch in my little cubby hole there. I'll have to try and reach in and get that before I go. You know, that's worth about €7. You don't leave €7 of scotch in a little cubby hole in the side of a cliff, I tell you. Alright guys, oh yeah, just remember, if you want to have a very nice funeral, get into the Donegal Martyr Incorporated funeral service, get in touch with the martyr, he knows all about it. He's a great fella. I tell you, you Irish gorillas, you don't know how lucky you are to have a great guy like the martyr, you know. Alright guys, I think that'll do it. Look after yourselves. And remember this very vital piece of information. Stand close. By the way, if it comes out in the newspapers anything to do with the Reverend McWowson and fraud, it's absolute horse manure, it's preposterous. Anyway, I'll leave you this final blessing from myself from the Reverend Timothy McWowson, who will be Dr. Timothy McWowson next week. I'll leave you this final little bit of advice. Stand close to McWowson, with your checkbook open and your handbag open and your debit cards and your credit cards. And I'll tell you what, I swear this by Jesus Christ, but you'll now go far wrong.